Well, welcome to Unleash Live. And this evening we have the one and only Robert Dean from Take a Knife, Save a Life. So thank you ever so much, Rob, for taking your time out for joining us on Unleash Live.
My pleasure.
Right. Take a Knife, Save a Life has been doing some tremendous work over the last couple of years. Can you sort of tell us, obviously, how was it set up? How did it all come about?
Okay, firstly, hello everybody, and of course, yeah, I can tell you how Take a Knife, Save a Life come about. Indeed, most of you that are on Harold Hill Unleashed may well know, but for those that don't, we'll start right at the beginning. So, it was March 2019 when there was the barbaric murder of Jodie Chesney. After this point, what is now founder of Take a Knife, Save a Life, Stephen Gowers, came up with an initiative for this group to be joined with, to be made up of volunteers, okay, and walk around the streets acting as a visual deterrent, raising awareness, and also taking a stand against knife crime. It's obviously not acceptable. This is not something that we want in our borough, in our areas. The implements or the effects, the after effects it has all round on families, the community, it's just astronomical. It's really destructive. So Stephen Gowers set this up, Take a Knife, Save a Life, and within 3 weeks it was about the end of March, I believe, Stephen Gowers had formed the group, put it onto Facebook as well, and I actually remember that point. The amount of people joining the group was just incredible. It was just continuous members joining, which was great, because what that gave us the opportunity to do as soon as we started patrols was reach out to everybody that was watching these live feeds to show that someone in the community is out there making a difference. And the main thing with it all that I can happily say to date is it has united a community from something that was absolutely horrific. A lot of people stand up. Now, I will say that I've actually made a lot of friends through Take a Knife, Save a Life. We have some absolutely fabulous volunteers, so many committed people. Obviously, volunteers, it's all unpaid, it's all voluntary. And to date, it has just been such a big achievement for the whole of the community to come together. Whether you're watching on live feed, whether you join the group, whether you comment, give time walking about us on the streets around the boroughs of Havering, the borough of Havering and areas in Havering, because we started in Harold Hill and then we have excelled out through all the different areas in Havering. So that was how Take a Knife, Save a Life started. As I say, founded by Stephen Gowers at the beginning. And I do remember the first few weeks of patrols, the capacity of volunteers. I mean, we've got the capacity there anyway, but everyone wanted to get involved. Everyone wanted to make a stand and become a part of something that was for the good of the community. So yes, that is basically, I'd say, the answer to that. That's how Take a Knife, Save a Life came about, from something really horrific, turning it into something, a little good, where you can unite the whole community.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'm going to say now, and I'm definitely going to say at the end, each and every one of us in Harold Hill and the community would like to thank you for all the hard work you do 365 days of the year. And not only are you trying to keep the community of Harold Hill safe, but you're also trying to keep the community of Havering safe. And I do believe it's expanding even a lot further than Havering and Harold Hill. So from the 12,000 members on Unleashed, Harold Hill Unleashed, with each like to personally thank you for all your hard work, and especially when the times are like this where it's very, very cold. Thank you because you've never sort of lowered your standards, and your standards have been so high. So I'm going to say it again, but thank you for for everything you've done.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate obviously all the support, and it's also thank you all for continuing to support that. You know, that's one of the big things that drive that keeps us going, the continuous support of all yourself and the community. So.
Yeah, but I mean, in your view, how can the country get on top of knife crime?
Right, so that is a kettle of fish question. I'll tell you why. Because as we look at things, the climate the way it is now, we do have quite a few numerous problems out there. A lot of it relating to mental health, people that have lost their jobs. You know, we're going through a real tough time at the minute. So I personally believe that the way that we can tackle this is, as a model, what we have done in Havering by bringing everyone together. Yeah, if that can be spread across the country, because raising awareness is probably one of the main things, and early intervention. Okay, if we could expand that across the country, I mean, obviously that's going really big, but even if other groups, but if everyone unites in each area, raises that awareness, brings intervention at an early stage to curb grooming, county lines and gang culture, this is what I believe is the focus that we really need to look at for targeting knife crimes. Because like I say, it is a kettle of fish. You know, you've got, so you may have, so years ago, I actually was arrested for a knife, okay, when I was like 16, 17 years old. And I'll tell you the reason what led me to carrying one. So I was chased by a group of youths when I was probably about 14 or 15, and they did have knives and weapons. There's only about 4 or 5 of them, but they had knives. And I was absolutely petrified, you know what I mean? I literally did run for my life. From there on, it was my focus was it's either me or them, you know? So then I bought myself a lock knife and I carried one, okay? Not thinking that the focus really of having to use it, but the fact was that he's got a knife, I didn't have one, so I best have one. The mind wasn't thinking correctly, okay? I got arrested for obviously about 2 years later and I never carried a knife again. So that was a blessing in disguise. Then you've also got the gangs, okay, where they will have rows with rival gangs, and they again will have to carry a weapon or a knife, or they see it fit in their mind to carry a weapon or a knife, to have that power, okay. And this is where I believe the problem comes, because there's different elements of why people do carry knives, and then you've got the cases where people will just lash out, carry a knife on them all the time and just lash out on somebody innocent, which is, you just can't explain it. You just cannot explain it. So yes, that leads me from that question there, mate. Yeah,
brilliant. And I mean, obviously, you know, you were saying about sort of getting, trying to sort of break the chain when you're young, and you know, I know there's some great future plans. You know, what is the future plans for Take a Knife, Save a Life?
Okay, so I just want to firstly reassure everyone that patrols will always continue with Take a Knife, Save a Life. We have been halted slightly because of the epidemic that faces us all. We have still gone out as coordinators, and when government has relaxed all the rules in place at the minute, we have then adhered to that and brought out volunteers once more. So that will always continue. For the future, we are really looking at focusing on stepping up a gear. So some of you may have heard the new initiatives that are out there to take TAKSAL into the future, helping the youth. Possibly, no, that's where the early intervention comes in. This is what we want to target. So one of the initiatives we have is an intervention program with 8 weeks of a program and 4-week aftercare. I won't give too much detail of all the elements inside the program, but the main focus is of it at the end, it will put an underprivileged child on the right path. Now, we have Alex Taylor, our secretary, who is a part of the Braille Foundation. Okay, yeah. They are running the Braille Foundation and running a Place of Change program, which, partnering up with TAKSAL, from these intervention courses, we can then push them for work experience, fully funded courses. They can get apprenticeships, laptop donations, and basically this is where we're at. We've always reached out to other charities and groups, organisations where possible, as in networking and seeing what they do. But we've also got now groups coming on and helping or wanting to help with our programs at the end of so let's say our program's like 12 weeks, we can then lead that child into that path and point him in the right direction for some of these opportunities that lay in front of us. There is another program that we've got for these are going to be for different age groups, but we'll be taking underprivileged children that have just left junior school before going into senior school in 6 weeks or later studies. So there'll be like 30 kids, 10 adults, with being mentors, lots of activities. Whilst there, we'd be educating them on moving up a gear into senior school and the problems that could face them with county lines, grooming, gangs, etc., knife crime, hazards, drugs. This is the main aim. This is what we target: early intervention, okay, as well as continuing patrols. Now we have. I just want to drop in. Obviously, when we came into lockdown first off, we adapted and straight away we utilised the minibus. And we started delivering food for elderly, vulnerable people that were in lockdown. And we did that again at Christmas for Tapestry. And this is the thing. So our initiatives and our networking and bonding with other groups, I believe, will help our future unite again in community, and all the other groups locally support each other. So that's the main aim, and that's what we see for the future. And where we can possible, despite these initiatives and patrols, we will reach out and try and help in the community wherever possible.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And it's obviously the great, foresight of, starting with the youngsters and trying to educate them into, there are people out there who really do care about you, rather than trying to groom them into, a society that doesn't really sort of care about them. But obviously, you've got the forefront of, no, we really care about you. We want to do this for you. And this could lead on to further jobs, apprenticeships. And like you say, I mean, it's fantastic. One question we have from Katie on Facebook. Don't forget, if you've got any questions for Rob, go, or you can only watch this on Harold Hill Unleashed. But if you've got any questions, fire away, and I'll sort of put it forwards to Rob. But one question from Katie is, how much do these programs cost?
Right. So, because they're going to be underprivileged children at this moment in time, we are hoping that we could get these programs up and running with funding. Okay, so we are still in discussion about costings and things like that. We have priced up one of the intervention program. We're in process of that now. I believe that obviously being funded and underprivileged children that can't afford it, they'll be coming onto the program fully funded. So there shouldn't be a cost. At this stage, I wouldn't want to speak out of term and say too much, because we're still working on trying to get funding for this program. I mean, the intervention program has been built, okay? We've got it all planned out from week 1 to week 8. There would also be something I just wanted to add in, that there's going to be a 24-hour care service. Yeah. So if one of these children, this is the thing of the program, if they are struggling, or they want to talk to a mentor, they'll have a 24-hour number that they can contact a mentor on, talk to them, to discuss the problems. Brilliant. And this is like the intervention. It's going to be, even the aftercare service will offer that. So I believe at present, money-wise, it will be on behalf of TAKSAL. But let us see in the future, once we manage to work out if we can get the appropriate funding.
I mean, we're talking about sort of funding. I mean, whilst we're in the middle of this conversation, I do know you have some fantastic sponsors. Do you mind naming them? I mean,
Of course. Yeah,
I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity to.
Yeah, of course. So our sponsors have provided us with the minibus, the defibrillator. Obviously, we got the minibus, and the minibus was wrapped. But Vault Shenfield, the Rising Sun Hornchurch, Luna and Lounge, which is Hornchurch, Versa Accountants, and Choice Interiors. They are our main sponsors. Once again, like I say, they have provided us a minibus. You may have seen more acceleration in things with their involvement. They're always there for our help. We've always got them there for support. But hopefully we'll see a little bit more once this lockdown period. It's basically just slowed everything down massively. Hopefully we will have our headquarters. Again, there's things that I'm not going to say too much, but definitely Vault Shenfield, the Rising Sun, Lunar Land, Versa Accountants, and Choice Interiors are our sponsors.
Brilliant. Yeah. And also people can, as you're a registered charity now, yes, people can donate 365 days a year. I mean, how do people? How can they donate?
Right. So we've got a few elements here of possible ways to donate. Right, firstly, we have our new website, www.taksalcharity.co.uk, all in lowercase. So www.taksalcharity.co.uk.
And what I'll do, sorry, Rob, I mean, what I'll do, any information that has been given, I'll put on the descriptions above, including your new website. I do apologise, go on.
No, that's fine. No worries at all. Thank you, Simon. Now, there is a donate button on that website. Another benefit to it is there is also a way that you can communicate with someone. So it's basically it's 24-hour hotline on there as well to drop a message, and one of our community workers will get back to someone who messages on there. But the donate button is on that website. We have also posted a link on the main page. I will actually put that on announcements, okay, because I don't believe it's on announcements, but a link to our PayPal account. So on the PayPal account, you can make a one-off donation, or you can set up regular payments, so once a month payments, whatever you see fit and however you would like to donate. Obviously, in advance, thank you very much. I will say that every pound or donation that we get, it goes straight back into TAKSAL. I will just quickly move on to the costings of things. You know, for any company, business, charity, there is outlay and expenditure for us to keep on running. We have to pay for insurance. Now, if you ever got asked for public liability, can't you say that? Give me tongue out. Public liability, right? For a anti-knife crime charity to cover us, our volunteers and everything, it's just extortionate. You know, it really is. So there is a lot of outlay. There is a lot of expenditure to go out, and most of near enough all the money that we have got in so far from the past donations. Can I just say, Blitz Kids Radio did a fundraiser. We also had Anytime Fitness. Going back in time, we had the five-a-side football. So these are where our funds have come in, and they have lasted us till now. But we've always put in our own money as well, because the funds and donations that we've got, sadly, you know, we have obviously gone through it with expenses and things that need to be paid. So we have many times used a lot of our own money, and this is where we're at. You've got to remember as well that we were a charity, made a charity in July last year. So with regards to funding and things like that, it has been difficult because of the climate, but it's something that we hope to excel and to be accepted for. Yeah, in the future, to help us with all these programs, initiatives, and you know, the acceleration of patrols and things like that. You know, even high visibilities, they cost about £8 each, I think, if I remember correctly, with the label on the back. So it can add up. It can add up. If you've got massively. There's £800 worth of high visibilities.
Yeah, so, massively. Yeah. I mean, sort of, you know, taking going away from sort of, you know, the finances and that. How many knives have you found since you started?
Okay, right. So we've got it written down at the minute, knives and weapons, because what we class, anything we find outside in our community, within our parks or on our streets, we class as a hazard or a danger, okay? So it could be knives, okay? And we believe any knife that most knives we find in the parks, we do assess in terms of, had they been put there for use, hidden for purpose, yeah? Is it something that's just fallen out, like a stain knife, fallen out of a builder's pocket or something like that? So we would class weapons as well that are found in parks, metal bars and things like that, within this statistic, but it's well over 200 now from 2 years. Also take into consideration, we do the knife collection service or knife amnesty service, where we come to your house and collect any old knives, unwanted knives that you don't need or use anymore. We recommend you going through old knives, because if you do have a collection of knives that you're not too sure how many knives you've got, and you have got a youngster, you've got a kid in the house who is under pressure by gangs and things like that, you may well take one of these knives, and that could be the knife that ends up getting used on him or her, whoever it be, male or female. So the knives that we have found out and about on patrols, they are the ones, because we believe they're hidden for purpose. I just want to move on to what we do when we find a knife, if you don't mind, Jeff. So first of all, only coordinators, we only allow coordinators to touch the knives.
Okay.
Especially some areas that we dig down, you've got old syringes and things like that. If you remember the other month, I think I found about 48 syringes in a bush next to Barking Abbey School and removed them all. So obviously that's a hazard, okay? So the knives, we've got these gloves, obviously we're always carrying gloves, okay? We've got our knife tubes. Now we've got different size knife tubes. You've got the smaller one, okay, which obviously can be extended. So they open out. If I give you just an example of this, so you've got one little knife here, okay? This goes into the knife tube, and if we're wearing the gloves and it's found out and about, we usually have to contact the police to ask their advice if we believe it's dirty, what they would want us to do, okay? Whether we bring it to the police station or whether they come and collect it off of us. Most cases, obviously, we've got approval from the police in the area. Everyone knows what we do, the council, so we're trusted to do it accordingly and get the knife to the police station. Here is one of the bigger knife tubes in 2 separate halves. Yeah, so the glory of this, it really can be extended, okay?
Wow.
Yeah. And you can get a really big knife in there. And we have found some that big before. We found machetes, samurai swords. I'll just show you in 2 seconds. I'm doing that up. Let's undo it again. So here's a knife from my kitchen. I can get it. There we go. Here's a knife from my kitchen. There we go. Okay. So obviously that goes in there. We'd have the gloves on, all forensics, obviously. No one knife on its own. And then that goes to the police station, and it's down to them to continue with any evidence they wish to take up on that knife. So that's what we generally. We also have a tape measure. We make a full inventory. If I just also show you, the form is blank, but I mean there's a lot of paperwork that's got to be done. So we've got an items log, a found items log, so weapons log basically. We'll have a time, a date, patrol area, patrol coordinator, and the details of the item found. We have to do this, keeping up with all the paperwork. No one really likes paperwork, but it is a must.
But it's amazing how much work is behind just how we visually see you.
Oh, yes, yeah. That's to be honest, that is the tip of the iceberg. We've got a patrol logs. We have to sign all our volunteers in and out. There is a lot of work that goes in. Now, let's say, for example, okay, we have to take this into consideration. So we're all out on patrol. We are obviously or could be at risk of hurting ourselves on a sharp object if we're in a bush and searching for a knife. And believe you me, we dig deep. We do dig deep. It's not easy finding weapons. When we have found a lot, thank God. Yeah. We believe, obviously, by finding these, we could have potentially saved lives, most definitely. But there's always the chance that someone may fall, slip, hurt themselves, have an injury. And if you remember earlier at the beginning, many times we have used first aid with members of the public who need it whilst we've been on patrol.
Yeah.
So it was going to lead me on to this. Now, obviously, we have had first aid training. Some of our members are already first aid trained, but we believe it is imperative that we are all first aid trained, as many volunteers as possible, because we are effectively on the front line. So
yeah,
we are probably going to be the first person in there if we've come across someone who's injured before emergency services get there. So with that, we all carry our first aid kits. Now, this is obviously just my personal one. So most of them are really, they're not just small kits, they're big ones, okay? We have, I'll just run through some of the equipment that we have. So this is a Merlin E-mask. So obviously, especially with COVID, you know, you don't necessarily want to be doing mouth to mouth. You've got your mask there. We have got, this is body blankets, survival blankets. You know, one of them big foil blankets.
Yeah.
If someone's going into
a shock,
exactly a shock, that could potentially save their life. This one, I mean, this one is really, really, really imperative. I mean, this is so important there. So, as you can see, this is to go on your arm or around the wound. You do it up, and it's if an artery's gone, so you keep on tightening, yeah, and keep on tightening and keep on tightening. That could, because if an artery's gone, someone can go within minutes. If it's done right, they can go within minutes. This could again save their life and hold the blood from coming out of their body quick time whilst the ambulance and emergency services get there. Bear in mind, we have got defib on the van as well. And again, a couple more trauma kits here. Blast bandage. So that goes around the stomach. And then you've got your modular bandage. So that would be where a knife wound was as well, yeah? So we carry all these kits. We have all the knife tubes. We are now obviously being safeguard trained as well. Most of us are. But there is a lot involved other than just walking about. Believe you me. Believe you me. Yes.
But saying you know, all the hard work. I mean, what has been the greatest achievement for Take a Knife, Save a Life? I know you've been nominated for a few awards for the last couple of years. You've only been going. So you know, what was your greatest achievement?
I'll be honest, that is $1 million question for me personally, because it's all good and well getting awards and the recognition. It's fantastic because we realise that we are making a difference through that, through being nominated for awards, even if we don't win them. You know, we're being recognised to make a difference in the community. For me, I think the greatest achievement is just the unity of everyone within the community since the horrific murder. It really is. I mean, we've got the Chesney Foundation. You know, we are really friendly with the Chesney family. All the groups that we support. You know, if I just run through some names of groups that we've done things with. So you got Being Nice Saves Lives. Your City Says No when we did the march through Romford. I know Stephen, when I was talking to a group in Essex, Keep It 100% Youth, it was CIC. We have got Nightingale Angels. So that's the group that helps the homeless. And I think that's what it is. Just the greatest achievement is this unity of volunteers within the community, supporters, people like yourself, you know, people on a leash watching now. And just the success of the impact we've had today. You know, that has got to be the greatest achievement. Finding all these weapons and knives. Let me just give you a statistic here. All right, and if I can find it, if you don't mind, just give me 2 minutes. It was here somewhere. Somewhere. I say. There we go. So in 2014 to 2015, crimes in Havering were at 16,781. That's for the year. So that's obviously with every area within Havering. They steadily increased every year up to year ending 2018. Year ending 2018, yeah, up to 20,527, which is a severe increase for those 5 years. I wouldn't say it was coincidence, but TAKSAL obviously came in in 2019 in March. Within that year, there was a 1,000. It went down to 19,185.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I personally believe, and this is what we're talking about earlier, how we can fight knife crime. I believe the impact of us acting as visual deterrents, walking the bands, just the community wanting to do something about it. I do believe that had an impact. It can do so much.
Yeah, I mean, even as recently at Havering College, I know about October time, November time, there was a few incidents, and one of the first people the council and the police asked to help them was Take a Knife, Save a Life. They
correct.
asked for your assistance, and that's power to you, and hopefully you have managed to get on top of it.
Yes. I mean, I personally was at these meetings. I will say, the community around Ardley Green, they did really come together as well. And it was lovely to see people that want to make an impact, people that want to, they're not standing for it, I've gone in all the shops and spoke to shop owners. One of the shop owners actually, I had seen footage of a fight happening outside his shop. And what happened afterwards, one of the kids went in and hid a knife in there, okay? He only found it a day after, he didn't realise. So this was a big problem for the Ardley Green community. But what was positive of it was every single one coming, the principal come together with Andrew Rosendale, councillors, and obviously residents. Damien White was there as well, I believe. Yes, he was there, if I remember correctly. And all the residents of Ardley Green were there to help make a difference. Even the principal of the junior school, shop owners. And you know what? Again, this is what it's about. It's people coming together and standing up and saying, no, we're not going to accept this. I do know Damien, there was a camera that was installed. I believe Damien White had to get permission for that, and it was funded. It's there for 3 months, I believe. It may get extended because since that period, the kids have finished, the youths have finished, and since then we've had lockdown. So, we were straight on board with that. I personally was actually doing a bit of work around here in Barking and Dagenham, and I jumped straight back over into Havering to try and come and utilise this problem. Can it? What you mentioned the council there? Now, can I just jump in? It will lead me on to say that we really appreciate the support we do have from Havering Council and some of the councillors. Yeah. I had to say this name first because she's absolute star. So Jan Sargent,
well, we've got some breaking. We've got some breaking news that Jan Sargent is going to be live with us next Thursday. So.
Oh wow! Brilliant, fantastic! I must come on that one definitely. Well, she is just an angel. She really is. But right back at the beginning, within the first week or two of our patrols, Andrew Rosendale come out of this, and he has supported us ever since. We've had Sean Bailey out of us. Someone that gives us undivided attention and the heart is with us is Christine Corbett Vickery, our deputy mayor. And I really can't thank them enough for the support. We have now been gifted horses that can help us and our volunteers moving forward in some of these things we want to do. Hopefully we'll be going in schools giving lectures of knife crime and reaching out to kids that will need it and maybe pushing them on these intervention programs. So, Havering College, the local, I know some people hate politics and some of the politicians, but from what I've seen, people out there are trying to do something. And I'll be honest, the support, like I say, the support we've had has been absolutely amazing. We really, again, it's everyone coming together to help each other. The impact is just, I think it could be life-changing. It really could for an area community.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, fortunately, Rob, we have run out of time. Zoom only allows us to sort of have a 40-minute chat, and I believe the 40 minutes are near up. So before we go, don't forget all the information for Take a Knife, Save a Life will be added in the descriptions above, including their new website. Have a look at their website. Absolutely fantastic.
I'll put that on comments.
Just have a browse.
I will. Sorry to interrupt, Simon. I will put that on comments. Also, if anybody would like to become a volunteer. We are going to rule out soon a new volunteer induction program. We're just waiting for all these COVID rules to relax. There's no point doing it just yet. But please do contact one of the admins on Taking Our Save Life Facebook page, and we will be happy to assist you and point you in the right direction. Also, you remember you've got the 24-hour message line for community care on the website.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Josiah.
And like I said at the beginning of this chat, Rob, personally and 12,000 people on Harold Hill Unleashed would like to personally thank you for all your hard work you've done 365 days a year. It doesn't go unnoticed, and thank you for every footstep you do in keeping our community safe.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great pleasure. Thank you ever so much. Don't forget, on Monday we're going to be speaking to a single parent who's been struggling with homeschooling, and you know, it's half term next week. And next Thursday we have the one and only Jan Sargent joining us. Is it Councillor Jan Sargent, or is it Jan Sargent? We'll find out next Thursday. But from Unleashed Live, thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much, Rob.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, everybody. God bless.